Now we go to the penultimate heat for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Let's take you through the starting grid. On pole position, it's going to be Poland's David Outleichner. Joining him on the front row will be from the Netherlands, Martin van Leeuwen, the current points leader coming to this final round of the championship. Ed Matthews and Tristan Rennie make it an all-British row number 2. It's the UK and France on row 3 with Bradley Barrett and also current pole sitter for today and also Heat 1 winner Nicolas Picot on row 3. Jakub Bezel from the Czech Republic is joined by the young flying wonder that is from the Netherlands, Enzo Bol. They are on row 4. Lucas Pronel from Canada and Victor Frostbay from Denmark complete the top 10. Row 6, it's Ilias Kaliakmanis from Greece and Lithuania's Martinas Stankiewicz. Maxim Didix from Belgium is joined by Denmark's Matthias Lund with Nicolas Guillaume and Dennis Thum rounding out the 16-strong grid. They now go on to their formation lap ahead of 10 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. And after this one, we will then head into the final third of heat stay as we are on to race 16 out of 24 here at the home of British karting, Paul Fletcher International here in Lincolnshire. Also, have to give a little shout out to someone watching from Norfolk at the moment. Very good afternoon to Logan Howes and the family. Hope you're all keeping well. Thank you very much for watching along on the live stream. Hope you're in it for the long run, like I am in here in the commentary box. But the drivers now will start to slow. It's very much a strategic game of chess. Of course, 2-speed gearbox karts. It's the premier class of Rotax karting and has been for a number of years. The concept initially was showcased by the RM1, which was a chassis that was built directly by Rotax, and then everyone, including all the current brands that we see in karting, have very much liked the bolt-on ability of what we have with DD2. So the red lights are on the gantry. 10 minutes on the timer, plus an additional lap as they split and go into the tram lines. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out. First time we're underway. Good start by the pole sitter Outleichner as Ed Matthews tries to put the frighteners on early. When it comes to Martin van Leeuwen heading through into the Bruno Ferrari S's, Bradley Barrett gets a good run and ends up in 4th place as they go over the Litchfield Bridge for the first time. Matthews coming under pressure from Barrett early doors as well. Down the dip into the first hairpin. Outleichner holds the lead at the moment in this early foray. And Van Leeuwen looking to get the jump on him at some point. Brad Barrett goes a little bit more defensive in front of Tristan Rennie. He's got Nicolas Picot for close company, but there's the move for the lead. Through into the Fullerton S's, threading the eye of the needle. Martin van Leeuwen made it work when he needed to the most. And now it's a top 4 skirmish at the sharp end of the field. Van Leeuwen, Outleichner, Matthews and Bradley Barrett round out the top 4 as they come out of the final corner. And now Outleichner fires right back at the same point that Van Leeuwen did to him at the beginning of the previous lap. 70 thousandths separated the pair, and Outleichner was not afraid of taking the chance, and he made it work. Great job there. Matthews, Barrett, and there goes Jakub Bezel looking up the inside of Nicolas Picot. And runs a little bit wide coming out of the first hairpin. Keeps the inside line for hairpin number 2. Bearing in mind that Nicolas Picot is leading the way in the DD2 Masters side of things today. Not in the championship standings, however, because that is Lithuania's Martinas Stankiewicz. So after 2 laps, Outleichner continues to lead. Van Leeuwen switches the right and then does the old Nigel Mansell dummy attempt. Like the Williams, well, like he did back in the 1990s. Gosh, shades of Nigel Mansell in that kind of couple of manoeuvres from Martin van Leeuwen. He nearly got Outleichner out of position and could have gotten the opportunity to retake the race lead. Barrett looks up the inside of Matthews through into the first hairpin, and the driver from Southampton gets through. Matthews might have the run, but Jakub Bezel up his inside through into hairpin number 2. That's opened the floodgates. Pico gets through. Pernod gets through as well, and then he latches onto the back of Jakob Bezel's rear bumper. Going through into the Fullerton S's. The 433 from Canada. Mentor to Ryan Gandor, who's running in Minimax. They're it's like little and large of the karting fraternity. Or the karting equivalent, the Canadian karting equivalent of the two Ronnies. But Outleichner holding his ground. Nerve very much steadied by that youngster from Poland. One of the young new breed in DD2. Roger Young, good question. I should know this one off the top of my head. Champion and vice champion for DD2 get a ticket. DD2 Masters, it's only the one that picks up the title that qualifies for the grand finals here at the Euro Trophy. But Outleichner is holding his nerve. Van Leeuwen is trying to force the young Polish driver to making a mistake. At the minute, that is not happening with 6 minutes and 20 still to go. Outleichner, quick glance over the right shoulder. Van Leeuwen was within a tenth and a half of him across the line after lap number 4. Van Leeuwen sets the fastest lap of the race, 56.358. For the 24-year-old based out of Zolder, not only a very quick pedaler in his own right, but able to coach some young talents, including the two that he runs with at Wesley Shepard's team, Shepard's Racing. And two of those two are in this race. Tristan Rennie, unfortunately, has dropped by the wayside on lap 2. Looks like the Brit is going to be a retirement from this race. It's a real shame. Van Leeuwen just keeping Outleichner guessing. And this is, well, he's right on the rear bumper, going through the Mike Wilson complex out of the final turn. 0.147 was the gap between them. What's it going to be now? 0.165. And Outleichner responds with the fastest lap. Was only 18 thousandths of a second faster than the guy right on his rear exhaust pipe. So, Zeddy, yeah, there are 72 seats for DD2s. Used to be 72 for DD2 Masters, but that now goes down to 36 for qualifying for the grand finals. 4 minutes and 40 seconds still to go. And Lucas Pernod finds himself ahead of Nicolas Picot, who has the French tricolor emblazoned on the top part of his crash helmet. Very high rates of speed that these drivers are travelling at underneath the Litchfield Bridge through the Bruno Ferrari S's. Now, Lucas Pernod is gunning for a Sodi kart in front of him. And it's not Jakob Bezel who's behind Nicolas Picot. The one in front of him is the 443 of Southampton's Bradley Barrett. Now Pernod looking towards the outside of the Fullerton S's. Barrett shuts the door, and that gives Pernod the opportunity to try and side it up the inside, gets through at Bobby Game corner. Brilliantly tactically done by Lucas Pernod on Brad Barrett, going through into Bobby Game corner. Thought he might have had the run trying to go towards the outside of the entrance into the Fullerton S's, but on that particular occasion, Barrett went, no, you do not. You've got to do better than that. And then the momentum carry that Pernod had in the slipstream, in the toe of Brad Barrett, used that to good advantage and neatly made the move up the inside of Bobby Game corner. Maxime Didix has really been moving up the order himself. He started 13th, now up into P7, and closing in on Jakob Bezel. And there's the change for the lead through the second hairpin with just under 2 minutes and 55 seconds on the clock remaining. Van Leeuwen gets back at Outleichner. Outleichner was looking on the outside of the entry into the Fullerton S's. Another change for position a little bit further back. That's Jakob Bezel that I think has lost out to Maxime Didix, which is the case. Maxime Dirix has a very, very lovely Art Deco rendered race helmet livery. And Outleichner, oh, he's looking menacing as the young Polish driver. Van Leeuwen goes defensive through Uncle Tyrone's, banking up the ascent through into the Litchfield Bridge. Now into the 90 right. Down the hill they go if Outleichner is close enough. And then Van Leeuwen defends going into the hairpin. Very good tactical driving there from the 403. Outleichner swings to the outside at hairpin 2. Looks to get the cut back. Can't get it done. Stays in second. Pernod now pulling away from Bradley Barrett in 4th position. Pernod rounding out the top 3. Now it's down to Outleichner. What does he do at this point? He's going to be right in the wheel tracks. 59 thousandths as they come across the line with just under a minute and 30 still remaining. Outleichner is trying to push all the buttons, and Van Leeuwen is responding in kind by setting off the fire escape alarm. As if to say, Outleichner, you ain't getting past me. He pulls across the right-hand side. Outleichner went for the move up the inside, but Van Leeuwen responded, and this is bringing Canada's Lucas Pernod into the mix, who gets the undercut. Pernod with the undercut on Outleichner. Through he goes before the Fullerton S's, and that means that Outleichner drops down into 2nd position, the 3rd position behind Pernod, who really has a good amount of pace. Fastest lap of the race so far. Maxime Dirix, 56.302 for the driver out of Belgium. And now Van Leeuwen has got another driver to battle against. Oh, that was a squeeze and a half from David Outleichner on Lucas Pernod through the Bruno Ferrari S's, and the 465 from Poland gets through for P2. But keep your eyes on Bradley Barrett, because I fear the Jaws music is going to be in my eardrums and ringing, making my ears burn at the moment. That's exactly what happens when you get a driver that starts closing in on those in front, and that is a case personified by Bradley Barrett. Nicolas Picot still running overall in P5, leading DD2 Masters. But the timer has expired. Martin Van Leeuwen from the Netherlands looks to make it 2 different winners from 2 different heats today. 1 more lap remains. Outleichner nearly 3.5 tenths of a second behind in P2. Lucas Pernod, Bradley Barrett, Nicolas Picot ran at the top 5. Picot looking to do the double so far with a clean sweep at the minute in DD2 Masters. Jakob Bezel, Maxime Dirix, Victor Frostbay, Enzo Boll and Ed Matthews ran at the top 10, followed by Ilias Kaliakmanis, Nicolas Guillaume, Matthias Lund, Dennis Thum and Martinas Stankiewicz. Rounding out the 15, still running, unfortunately, on lap number 2. We lost Kraft Motorsport's Tristan Rennie in the 474. And so at this point, it still means that out of the final corner, Martin Van Leeuwen makes it 2 different winners from 2 different races in DD2. With the top 3 covered by less than half a second, Nicolas Picot takes another win in DD2 Masters, finishing 5th behind Bradley Barrett. But Martin Van Leeuwen takes the win in that one ahead of David Outleichner, with Lucas Pernod rounding out the top 3. Brad Barrett in 4th. Nicolas Picot takes P5 in that one. Maxime Dirix in 6th, ahead of Jakob Bezel, Enzo Boll, Edward Matthews, Victor Frostbay, Ilias Kaliakmanis, Nicolas Guillaume, Dennis Thum and Martinas Stankiewicz round out the top 14, with Matthias Lund finishing 8.4 seconds off of the eventual race winner Martin Van Leeuwen, and Tristan Rennie retiring with 10 laps to go.